everyone, and welcome to tonight's card making class. Tonight we're going to make this beautiful Christmas wishes card. We are using some assorted stamp sets and Thinlit dies and an embossing folder, so there's a lot of elements to this. First, let me get out what the cups are, and that's with the Coffee Cafe. We're using this image, this one, and this one. And I have already stamped and cut out those images, and I cut them out using the Coffee Cups Framelits die, which look like this. There's two of them, and I think the large one I may have put away. Not sure where that one went. Oh, there it is. So I used those three framelits. I went ahead and pre-cut everything. So I have two coffee cups in crumb cake cut out. And then I used for the poinsettias, they came from the Carols of Christmas. We're using that little stamp set right there. And then the final Christmas wishes came from the Night in Bethlehem, where it said bless Christmas wishes. I'm just using Christmas wishes, and I'll show you how I did that with the word blessed taken off. So kind of a variety of tools this evening that we're going to use to make this beautiful Christmas card. So my cards, generally all of my cards measure 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and that's what this one is. And I went ahead and used Very Vanilla for the card base. So we did that. Then our second layer is the Real Red cardstock. This measures 4 inches by 5 1/4, and I'll show you how to do the little edgings if you don't have a corner rounder. And then the white embossed Whisper White card, this measures, oh good Lord, I have to think. I don't have to. This measures 3 7/8 by 5. And it layers on top of all of this. So the first thing I want to show you is how to round your corners if you don't have a corner rounder. I have the envelope punch board, and the reverse punch on this rounds corners. So I just stick my cardstock in each corner and just push down on the little speech bubble, is what I call it, little button, like so. And it doesn't matter if it's upside down or right side up, that's how you get your corners. I'm going to do the same with my card base. And then also my Real Red cardstock. Okay, I'm going to set that aside, and then you got these little bitty corners to throw away. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and get my snail out. I'm going to go ahead and adhere my layers. So first, make sure your card is in the right position, and then your Real Red cardstock. And then the holly. Now let's talk about the embossing on the Whisper White real quick. The embossing folder is called Holly, and it looks like this. And I went ahead this evening and ran it through the Big Shot. Like I said, I pre-cut and pre-stamped everything, so this will go a little easier. But you measure out the size of your Whisper White cardstock. You put it right in there. put it on the platform in the Big Shot and run it through just once, and it comes out like that. I think that is so pretty. It just adds something to the card. So we'll go ahead and adhere that down. And you could probably put dimensionals on this to pop it up, but I prefer to use snail, make it flat. Something you have to keep in mind during Christmas time is I think if you put embellishments and ribbon and start piling things on the cards, it's more expensive to mail. So the flatter, the better. And that's what I was trying to achieve with this one, because these are so pretty. Excuse me. Okay. Next thing we're going to do is work on our cups. Okay. So I took crumb cake cardstock and went ahead with basic black ink. I stamped and then used this die cut to cut them out. So it kind of gives them a little dimension. I'm not sure what these are called, but they're the wrappers that go around the coffee cups when they're hot. Those will fix there. And of course, you have the lids. Now, something I did a little bit different with this one than the previous card. I went ahead and used the stamp on the Real Red. I used that stamp, and I stamped it in Real Red and stamped it on Real Image. Excuse me. And I'm not sure if I like it with it or without it, because if you flip it over, it gives it more of a red. Well, I think I will just use it just like it is, just like I did, and we'll see how this turns out. I guess it's more personal preference than anything, so we'll see. So, excuse me, I'm gonna go get a drink of water real quick. Okay, I'm back. I apologize. We've turned the heat on for the first time today, and I think it's just cleaning out all the dust or anything that's in the vents and causing me to have fits. So, all right, I'm going to just take my cups, and I'm going to use the little poinsettia, and I'm going to use Real Red. And I'm just going to stamp poinsettias all over the place. And I'm going to stamp off, because this pad, to me, seems really juicy. And I don't know if this looks right or not, or just kind of go with that. And with juicy pads, I'm learning, as if you can tell the little marks, how juicy it is. You really got to stamp light. I feel like I'm pressing down really hard. See right there? But with the cover we're going to put over, it'll cover all that up. So it's okay to make little mistakes like that. Okay, so there's our stamped images. This looks like I also even have a couple on the sleeves themselves. So I'm going to do that really light. Put a couple on there. Same with this one. I think it's called monochromatic. I think that's the term when you're stamping using the same ink on the same paper. It's really kind of a neat idea. I've seen some really pretty stuff there. So I'm going to go ahead and take Snail, and we're going to go ahead and affix right here the sleeve to the cup. Okay. Same with this. so quiet in the house. My daughter's asleep, my husband's at work, and it's just like an eerie silence. But it's also Halloween, so there you go. Okay, now the next step I want to do is take my ribbon, and this is Whisper Right, I think it's 1/8 inch. Yep, 1/8 inch. Whisper Right ribbon, and we're just gonna, I tied little knots, and I think that is just, that will be appropriate. Just adds a little bit dimension. I like cards with like a little ribbon on them, or a little rhinestone or anything like that. I don't know why. It's just me. So there's our first coffee cup. Let's go ahead and do our second coffee cup. Now this is my habit. When I'm tying a knot, I always have the image and then this end stick out here, because then I know I'm not really wasting ribbon, instead of just kind of guessing and then cutting it off and then like, oh, I'm too short, or like have a really long tail type thing. So I leave it connected. So now we'll go ahead and trim that up a little bit. Now what's nice about this coffee cup, if it's loose, just move up your ribbon a little higher and it'll tighten up around the where it's supposed to be tightened up. So there we go. Also with ribbon, you have to have sharp scissors. These are my ribbon scissors. These are paper snips. They are from Stampin' Up. I have 2 pair. One is for paper and any other thing, but these are specifically for my ribbon. And if I catch anyone in my household, it's not pretty if they have a hold of my ribbon. Okay, so I'm going to run snail along the top of the cup. We're going to go ahead and put the lid on, like so. Like that. I'm going to do that to both cups. I might cut that ribbon just a little shorter. This one down here, just by a hair. Like that. Okay, no more cutting, otherwise my tails won't be even. Excuse me for a moment. Okay. All right. Now, set those aside. I'm going to take what is called Wink of Stella. It's literally glitter in a pen, and I like to shake it before I use it. And I'm just going to go over or around the lid. Something like that. This is really, I've heard good things about Wink of Stella, and it's like, I have to try that. And oh my goodness, it just, I guess what surprises me is how small of a space you can literally color in or put glitter in, because it's just like a fine tip. It's a brush, but it can get really down to a very fine tip, and very versatile. Very versatile. And the other thing is, it's not closed until it clicks. So I've had this for a few months, and I'm surprised it hasn't dried out. I expected one of these days I was going to pick it up and it was going to dry out, and it hasn't, so I'm happy with it. All right, where's my card space again? Okay. Oh, we got to do our, you almost forgot. Okay, you're going to need a scrap piece of, this is crumb cake again. And you're going to need the stamp set. Now, the stamp set has blessed Christmas wishes. But what I've done is taken my real red marker, and you take the white end, and I've just colored the, I'm going to pull this down a little bit so I can see what I'm coloring here. And all you do is color the words you want actually stamped on that cardstock. There we go. Kind of like this. Now, I'm breathing on it because I want my ink to stay wet. I'm going it over a couple times to make sure I hit the entire word. Okay. Now with clear stamps or photopolymer stamps for that fact, it works really well if you have a Stampin' Pad or a sponge of some kind. And actually I also have, this came out of a case, a piece of styrofoam. Also does the same thing, but it just gives your a little give for your stamp and your ink. Okay, I'm just going to go ahead, press down. Oh yeah, there it is. Okay. Now I'm going to go ahead and, these are my other scissors, by the way. I have them both sitting off over here. Okay, those are scrap pieces. Now we're going to cut this. I want to see, I'm going to measure to 3 inches by 1.5. So I'm going to get out my cutting board. There it is. My Stampin' Trimmer. I love this thing. I've had trimmers in the past, and this has been far the best one I've ever had. It stays together, and I've used it so much, and the numbers do not come off. It's just, love it. Love it, love it. Okay. I'm going to go ahead. We're just going to go ahead and kind of, I want to square it up. That's my goal here. That's what I've been trying to say this whole time. So, just square this up. Like that. I have a square this up just a little bit. You can see I have a there we go. It's not perfect, not like I want it to be. Oh, that's a lot better. That make a heck of an improvement. I don't know if my stamp wasn't square or what the deal was with that. Okay. And then I'm just going to take this and do the same thing. Get out my envelope punch board. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp all 4 corners. Okay, just like that. Now we'll put everything together here. Get out my card, make sure it's right facing. Go ahead and nail this on. Now the first cup, I'm going to go ahead and lay flat. Like so. And then the next cup, I'm going to add what is called dimensionals. And it just gives it a little bit more of a 3D look or a popped out look. Like it's not sitting beside the other cup, it's sitting actually in front of the cup. So I'm going to go ahead and peel off the backing. Like so. Okay. And I'm just going to set it a little bit in front of and below the next card. This one's a little bit too far over. That's okay. It's okay to have it just kind of off a little bit. All right, there we go. There's our Christmas Wishes coffee cups. These are the two I made today. I made this one this morning. It's way different because I was really experimenting. But you can actually, there's a little foam on top. And so I took that idea and expanded it to this idea. So, you know, start with one card, start with the basics, kind of get an idea about what you want. And then as you go along, you can always change it and make it, you know, better than your first card, even though your first card probably looks pretty good. So, but there you have it. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to talk to you soon. Good night.